For example, people are very particular about the mannerism of others, not their own, but about others. If the other has a little peculiar mannerism, finished, then they have no patience for that. It is so outside a person, because you're not seeing the inside of a person. And when these misidentifications stick on to you too much, then I have to do something about it, isn't it? I mean, what? There's no other way but to play tricks with you. Then you get confused. It's a look. You think, oh, I was very much all right. What's the matter? There was a lady in America whom I gave realization. She was an Indian lady running a shop. Imagine, an Indian running a shop in America. I mean, she was nothing but a shop. She couldn't think of anything else but her shop. And she knew everything what was in the shop. Knew all the pricing. She knew everything, her profits, this thing, that. And when she got realization, she forgot all about it. She just forgot. And she didn't know where she had things. And she was quite worried. She said, what has happened to me now? I'm not worried about the shop and I don't remember where I put the things and this thing happens and all. But the result was, though she was so much worried and upset, that she was making a big food, much bigger than it was before. She couldn't understand what was the matter. Who was it? She was in such a mess. And she started telling me, Mother, I can't understand. This has happened and I was so confused that I lost all my sense of direction, of time and everything. And I was making such a lot of profit. So who is it? What is happening to me? I mean, I don't understand how to work it out. And she was very good at accounts, but she could not do any account. And ultimately she found that without doing any accounting, the money she gathered was quite a lot. And the thing started prospering. So I said, now leave it that way. Why do you want to get back to the same position where you had to write every $1, $2? Now she said, I have to write by $100. The thing is like that. Now what happens really? When this happens, you go beyond thoughts. And when you go beyond thoughts, accept that as a blessing. Accept that as your achievement. Accept that as your resurrection. Because you go beyond thoughts, and with thoughts you have been doing all these meticulous things, your thoughts. When this happens, you go beyond thoughts. And when you go beyond thoughts, accept that as a blessing. Accept that as your achievement. Accept that as your resurrection. Because you go beyond thoughts, and with thoughts you have been doing all these meticulous things, your thoughts disappear and you do not get those information and those complete efficiency, you see, recording by which you know you are efficient or not. Your efficiency to look at goes down. But on the whole, because you are in thoughtless awareness, the whole dynamism of God's working starts working for you, and you are amazed at the results, and you are absolutely relaxed. As if all of them start working for you, and you are just watching the way and wondering what it is. But unless and until you understand the importance of that thoughtless awareness, that point, as this is the point where I have to speak, in the same way, you understand the importance of that thoughtless awareness, of your resurrection, of your entering into the realm of divine blessings, you will stick onto your thoughts. Then you start working out on your thoughts, and there I play that nothing will work out according to your thoughts, and will be very obvious. You will think of something, plan about something. It must fail. If it does not fail, you will not give up your thoughts. And then people again get confused that, Mother, I wanted to do this, but I wanted to do this, I believed in it. So all your beliefs and all your wants get absolutely neutralized and you are bewildered. Because you have to leave all these things in the hands of God. He does everything. You do not do anything. He is almighty. When there is almighty to do work for you, why do you want to do it unnecessarily? Just to pamper your ego, and the ego is also wrong because you do not do anything. Just think of it. God only can have ego because he does everything, while your ego has no meaning, it doesn't do anything. And because of these ramblings around, the way you have made your brains, every time something comes up, This is not, that is not. Like that you start verifying everything. Even people verify whether I should buy this or not. Should I buy that? Should I do this? Like that. Provoke to see with their vibratory awareness all the time using. So the truth is born to them. They know what is truth, what is this. They can verify through their attention, their chitta. First your chitta gets enlightened. Then in that enlightenment you find the truth. But the joy is still missing because of your ramblings. But to an uncomplicated person, he gets his resurrection. He shoots off, not bother about his ramblings. Like a little bird which is born out of the egg, starts thinking now, how should I move my wings? So it goes to a library and tries to find it. If not, it will consult other little birds. Let us sit down and find out how do we move our wings. The wings have the power to rise. Allow them to rise. And that's what happens. That's why all these ramblings are there. So you go to the one side to the truth, finding of everything. Then the attention is on more on collective consciousness and on the truth. So naturally, finding out truth about others, to see immediately say, oh, he's catching this, he's catching that, that's wrong with that, and that's wrong with that. But if you're in the stage of joy, which I am, I don't know much about Sahaja Yoga. Actually, I come to know through you people. I'm in complete joy. And there you see, oh, he's catching like this, he's like this, this fellow has this problem, and that fellow has that problem, and that must be the reason that is there. Now they have all become birds. There are no more eggs now. Just a little bit of yolk here and there, you see, it's clinging to their body, mother will cleanse them, finish. What happens is that we still think they are still in the egg, because they you see, still go back to the shell. They are afraid to fly. So how can it fly? You see, it is in the shell and still worried about raising the wings out. Doesn't want to come out. So the shell has to fall off fully. Instead of taking out the shell, you also enter into your shell, think, oh God, why is in the shell? I better get into my shell as well. And this happens. With that, the resurrection. Resurrection is only complete when you reach to the state of. But let's see what happens to an ordinary villager in India when I give him realization. He just has joy. And he doesn't want to know anything about it. Knowing is not his job. He just knows joy. At the most he knows about the chakras and how it works and all those things. I mean, his style is looking from there, everything. He sees everything so clearly. We have some very big Sahaja Yogis in India, you know, of a very great height. The other day I received a letter from one of them. I was amazed. The way he's expressing himself. Most amazed. He was talking just like Socrates. There's one fellow who met me, who was just an ordinary car driver, you know, full of cars we have. He was driving me down in one of these processions we have there in a village. And I started talking. I was amazed. He was Kabira. Just like that, he was speaking to me. He said, the whole world is open to us now. The whole universe opens at me and wonders what a lotus have become and my fragrance. I was amazed at him. The poetry was on me. A bullock cart driver. Because he didn't have any ramblings. He's there. He's there. And you ask him, what's the matter with this fellow? How is he? Oh, he is coming up. He's very well. He's very well now. Much better, much better. Never would they tell me that he's catching on this chakra or that chakra and all these details. You see, the schedules of the whole thing is that at 5 o'clock he was catching on his navel. At 5:02, he was catching in his heart. At 2:05, he was catching on his arm. And then suddenly he was catching on his left Swadhisthana. So now the answer, what was he suffering from? Now you sit down for an examination. Because giving examination has been your habit. So you want to study the whole subject in a way as if you are appearing for your ambiguous examination. And you want to write down the whole history of the patient and come down to a conclusion. And conclusion will be all wrong because by that time the person would have got realization and would be checking your chakras. This is the topsy-turvy of Sahaja Yoga is. It's the most interesting thing, the way it plays with you and makes you understand that it is not the way you people go about losing all your sense of humor, becoming such serious people, and getting frustrated and then losing your tempers. No, it is joy in which one has to get into. And that joy you can have if you give up those ramblings. Like some of them wrote a letter to me saying that, Mother, we went through Regar's book. It's very difficult for us. We just don't follow a word about it. While they are very great search yogis. He said, we've given up. You see, we knew English all right, but this is too much for us. It's too much. We just can't get into it. And part of it was all right when he said about seeking and when you met you. After that, we don't know what is all that written there. We don't understand anything. So next time when you come, why not write another book, you see, which just says what we found. So simple as they are all educated people. Not that they are not, but they do not have these complications. And these complications, as we have in the West, we should be careful about it. It's just, I tell you why, because somehow the movement is set in the West. And in everything we go to extremes. In everything. You give them anything. I mean, a simple thing you give them, You tell them now, I give you 10 flowers, all right. You give me 10 flowers, all right. Then I take them to a vase with them. No. You give 10 flowers to Western. He'll write a letter to you. Thank you very much for the 2 daffodils and 1 diesel and 1 that. No. And I know from what shop you got them. And then they will go in the shop and find out how much I must have paid. Then they'll find out now how to repay it back. Because you've given them 10 flowers, must be 1 more, 11 at least. How much will it cost? So the costing will be there. All right, then they'll sit down and find out what are the aesthetics of particular things are and then which one things should we give. And I mean, it's a headache, I tell you. A simple thing like giving 10 flowers. This is going to one extreme. Now the problem is, it's all this going, it's all this happening. Where are we reduced to? What are we reduced to? Do you recognize? Do you see? What is the most important thing now for us? Not our economic activity. Is it? No. Even drinking activity is not important. Of course, that is one of the second most, I think, or maybe third most, or drugging. Nothing is important. The very rudimentary activity that every animal knows has become the most important activity for Western mind. I mean, as if we are reduced to a sex point. I mean, it's something madness, I tell you. I mean, you are resurrected now. You can see it so clearly. But what about those who cannot see? What do you say to them? How do you talk to them? And this is the biggest problem. That you do not know where you are heading for. Where are you? You have lost your moorings because of this rise. The moorings are lost. You cannot find out the depth where you are. It's like going all over the place to land back to the same place. Like I've seen a picture that some people who got drifted in an aeroplane and suddenly got fainted and all that. And they thought that they are going in the other outer space or something and landing in some new place. And they landed in a place suddenly. And they found it was a very beautiful place. There was a river and a beautiful mountain. They thought they must have landed in moon or some planet, which is such a beautiful, beautiful thing, isn't it? And they were very happily settled. They said, now we'll settle down here nicely, make our home just like Robin Hood, and be very happy. And with that idea, they slept. And in the morning, they were awakened by an English policeman saying, hey, what are you doing here? They were in England only. They flew from England and flew back into this place, and they did not know where they were. In the imaginary world of this sex, you do not know that you are at the same rudimentary point, at the very base of it, and you have done nothing, no advancement of it. Only thing you have created a hallucination, a very melodramatic stuff of the whole thing. And main basic problem is this is to be pointed out. This is to be understood. And once you start understanding as Sahaj Yogis, then you will realize how important it is for you people who are in the West to take to Sahaj Yoga in a very big way. And that is the reason also that joy is kept out of you for the time being. Because you must know those ramblings to explain to them. Because supposing you meet a Western philosopher, intellectual, I meet many of them. Headaches, I tell you. Because I'm not so good at these things. And they just start, did you read Mr. Madcap? I said, who is that? Oh, he's PhD in that, MAD in that. I didn't think. Oh, he says, all right. You have to read the whole library to talk to any one of them, you see. And then they will say that, you see, this thing doesn't fit our culture. Now, imagine, is that the culture of English or of Western people? The modern intellectuals, you see, what are they? The same rudimentary thing, that's all. Nothing more than that. They are telling you to retain your ego, just to do that. Everything ending up there. And here, you have to confront such fools. So it's better that you know all analysis to talk to. They don't want to hear about God, they don't want to hear about Christ, they don't want to hear about anybody else. But a man who tells them to become just that, their devaluation, we can call it, not evolution. Their degradation. Such a person is accepted today and regarded as God. So it is for Sahaj Yogis to understand and recognize the importance of their being Western people, how powerful they should be and how much willpower they should have to fight this. Because this is the turning point. And for me also, this is the turning point. You all have been all Sahaj Yogis, there's nobody. You have come before, isn't it? I do. Is it? I'm sorry. Can you give her a realization today? Because today as usual, the time doesn't sit for me and I don't sit for time. I have to go for something, which you understand. You are all invited in my house for dinner. And everything is cooked there for you. Those who want to go. Because I invited some, they came in the morning for lunch, but I couldn't tell all of them. But I'm going out, so I'm there. Those who can go, I would like to have something to eat, can go to my house. This, I hope, is sufficient. If not, I hope somebody will look after that side. अचार वचार भी बहुत है घर में सब निकाल देना और पूरी उड़ी बनवा लेना अगर इनके से. Those who want to go to my house are welcome and can take that prepare and enjoy yourself. I'm sorry today you have to go, but you will get your lunch. No problem. Did you get Kulbis in the hand? Nothing? Sure. Now just see that. Again the business of flying. Just see now, are you getting Kulbis or not? Very good. Now you start. Immediately. Now you start. If you settle down again back into the hole, then it will be difficult. Alright?
Online तो लहसुन भी ले आना.
So nice. Give us some papers. I didn't know you were new, you see. But still, it's alright. Doesn't matter. These things were meant for Sahaj Yogis. Because they are really great people. They are all very knowledgeable. Actually, I have to learn from you many things. I don't know so many things, I tell you. And it was such a knowledge, I tell you, very much. So, thank you very much. And somebody has to guide them. छाया, इनको लेके जाओ. और इतनों के लिए तो शायद नहीं होगा, लेकिन जरा से उसे कहना चावल बना लो. और कुछ बना देगा वो. बस काफी है घर में सामान. आज खाना दे दो सबको. जितने जाना, those who can go, would like to go, can. Alright? What's it? I've learned some things in England. Is to wear a coat. In the same way you have to learn something.